Find us on Facebook, email us at head2headpinball@gmail.com or go to our website at head2headpinball.com. Welcome to the Head2Head Pinball Podcast. This is episode 68 and my name's Martin, and with me
it's Ryan C. Marty, we've got Joe Kaminkow coming on the show, Marty, but this week I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, Marty. Unrelated to pinball, I know, but
sure. Yes. Already one of the cardinal sins, the Chris Franchi rules of podcasting.
I'm bringing it around.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm sure you've heard about the game, Marty. And,
I bought the game and I played it for about 20 hours and then I stopped playing it because it was just like GTA but in a Western scene. Keep going.
Okay. Well, okay, I've had a similar reaction because it's kind of reminded me why I so abruptly gave up video games and playing video games daily and replaced it with pinball machines, because Red Dead Redemption is so deep. And yes, there are deep pinball machines, but it requires such a large investment of your time. And while it's fun, a lot of it, Marty, as you experience, is chopping wood, right?
It's too much work. So what you're saying to me is, wouldn't it be nice to just have like a simple game every once in a while?
There are heaps of simple games. It's a bit longer than this, Marty. The arc of this little monologue I'm going to do is longer than 20 seconds. Okay. So yeah. Brace yourself, Marty.
Oh.
So chopping wood in pinball means like you got to invest 2 or 3 minutes hitting a bunch of shots to activate a mode or multiple. But in Red Dead Redemption, it's painfully slow. Traveling from one area to another, you got to feed your horse, Marty. You got to clean your horse.
Oh.
You got to eat. You got to smoke. You got to fish. You got to hunt. You got to clean your weapons.
This is shit house.
You got to upgrade your weapons. Upgrade your horse, Marty. Did you upgrade your horse? You got to upgrade your health, your stamina, your deadeye, your campsite. Anyway.
Nah, look, you know what? I know you're going to go somewhere. Quick time out there. Like Horizon Zero Dawn that came out on PS4 does all of that, but in a much better setting. So I can understand why you would need to do that. I just didn't like the Western theme for Red Dead Redemption. Anyway, keep going.
So my point is that when I fell in love with pinball, I fell in love with exactly that. Like, pinball, not everything around it. And what I didn't fall in love with when I fell in love with pinball is Pinside and Aussie arcade.
It's quite confronting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to love pinball to go to comps. You have to love pinball to be on Pinside or Aussie Arcade. And the reason I'm bringing it up, I guess, is in the last 2 weeks, I've spent a considerable amount of my pinball time, right? Not playing pinball, but listening to the variety of points of view on what's happening in the hobby.
Yep.
Now, I'm not that naive, but I understand that everyone's in the hobby for different reasons. You're in it for a different reason than I am.
Sure.
But I guess the 2 biggest examples are American pinball, the monkey situation.
Yeah, sexism in pinball. Yep, bring it back up.
Yep. So I'm not here to argue either way. I think it's been done already, and who's right or wrong, but if you read kind of like the comment section, it's an absolute kind of like blight on the hobby with the anger both ways from both people. And can you imagine if you're into pinball for the first time and you're like, oh, cool, look at this new pinball machine, and then you kind of stumble across and you're like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, but that's been the whole, enigma of Pinside is that, when you meet pinball people for the first time, you realize that there's all these really cool people out there that you can talk to. And then you and I've had to do this many times when people will sort of say to me, so, where can I get more information from? It's like, oh shit, I don't want to tell them about Pinside, but I have to tell them about Pinside, but I need to give them a warning about Pinside. And just about every single time people come back and go, oh, fucking thanks for the warning. What a fucking, geez, as I said, confronting. It's really confronting that for such a cheery, like it is a cheery hobby, pinball brings joy. Pinball is happy that there's this really nasty, unnecessary dark side. There you go. I've said it.
Yeah, and so the dark side is not Pinside. We're not saying that. It's just Pinside is the biggest place where you can have a conversation about pinball. So,
yeah, but it's also social media as well. Like, I know we're going to go to the Joe Kaminkow interview, and sort of I spoke to him about the fact that he was on social media trying to answer some of these questions, and he was just being hurled what could only be described as bile from one person in particular. And I just thought, fucking, fuck off. Just like, fuck off, because this machine's not for you, and you're just being a fucking
Yeah. You gotta leave that in there, Marty. You can beep that one. Well, back to American Pinball really quickly. Hindsight is 2020. I'm not sure if there was a better way for that conversation kind of to be had, because what has said has been said. I'm not going to repeat kind of the nasty words from both sides, but it reinforces the fact that we all love pinball, but that's the only common thing that we have.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like you have a different set of morals that you live your life by, and so do I. But then when something like this comes up, it all gets kind of thrown out into the open. But you can pretend that doesn't exist. You can go on and play a competition, and no one talks to each other, and it's like, hey, we just love pinball. Yep. Anyway,
look, I've experienced that a couple of times where I've met people in pinball, and I've thought, oh, these are really nice people. I'm going to add them on Facebook, and then realize they're massive racists, and that's really hard to deal with, because you've got to play pinball with them, and they are just nothing like you. And you're right. I mean, we've got pinball in common. And the good thing is that when you do get together and you play pinball, you talk about pinball, and it's all about pinball. And that's a great place. And then go your separate ways and move on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, lastly, you've already touched on Beatles, but it's, we're not here to tell people that you should go and buy every new JJP and CERN machine and whatever they produce, you should support the hobby in with your dollars. But people really do need to step away from the keyboard and play more pinball, because, if you are playing pinball, then I guess those are the happy people, and those are the people that aren't investing their time going to forums and arguing about the Beatles being what it is and it not living up to their expectations in their minds, right? So you only get the worst of
you get the extremes, right?
Yeah, people that aren't actually playing pinball.
And I think that's been in both big discussions that we've had, Beatles and Sexy Men Pinball, is that you've had the anti and the pro on extremes. The vast majority in the middle kind of go, I'm cool with it. I don't need to say anything.
And we probably sound like, some hypocrites because we have an entire section of our podcast where we argue for and against pinball machines, and the nature of the segment.
We've got to fill the fucking podcast somehow.
Yes, but it's a joke. And yes, we're going to do the twerpies, which is literally the worst stuff in pinball, but it's I don't know. I guess it's the way that people do it. You can say, oh, hey, this new pinball is not for me, or hey, I think this is a bit touchy, versus just, as I said, the bile that gets thrown out there.
And we talked about this really early on when we started this podcast, that we were doing this for shits and giggles, right? We just had a bit of a chat, and we like a bit of a laugh, and we will always find the funny side of things. That's just what we kind of, as Australians as well, we take the piss. So when you've got these things where you look at it, you go, oh, how can I make fun out of this?
Yeah.
I can't. And this stuff isn't fun. It's serious. And there are bigger issues at play here.
What I'm saying, Marty, is my whole, the whole reason is, can you please do the show notes from now on so I don't have to read it? I need a break from just reading about all this negative stuff. Unless it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows from now on. But, man, I really did my head in just reading just junk. And because I got sucked into one of the Beatles arguments, and then people were like, oh, it sounds like you just trying to suck up to Stern to get someone on your show. It's like, no, it's just like, I don't hate pinball.
We got everybody that we need already. Like, we don't need any more.
I really am looking forward to playing the Beatles, because the Beatles is a new pinball machine. And
right.
pinball is fun.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's a big statement I want to make. Let's get to the interview, and then we can talk about it after. What do you reckon?
All right. Without further ado, Joe Kaminkow.
Here he is. So thanks, Joe, for coming on and talking to us again. Obviously, we now know that Beatles has been revealed. What's the story?
Well, Gary and I have been wanting to do the Beatles project for easily 10 years, and maybe longer. We went and we presented and talked about the idea of doing a Beatles game. And we pretty much got turned down and told to go away. And, it's one of those things you kind of put in your calendar, and every year you make the phone call and you ask, and you you try and figure out if you can do it. And every year we sort of got rejected. This is a product that, for many collectors, both of Beatles merchandise and of pinballs, this is a dream theme, obviously. This is the, if you talk about all the rock bands that people have done, whether it be AC/DC or Guns N' Roses or Aerosmith or Elvis Presley, Beatles stand alone. And about 2 years ago, Chris Franchi and I started doing some work together. And we sat down and we said, well, gosh, if we were going to make a Beatles game, what would it be and what would it look like? And we kind of went back and thought about the Coming to America Beatles, young, just breaking into the Ed Sullivan Show. And Chris went back and put together a presentation package on the Backlash, which the first one we did really was the Beatles in that moment in time when they were sort of on the Ed Sullivan Show, and then did a cabinet and did a design and kind of wanted to make it look nostalgic and add a lot of Beatles. If you're a Beatles collector or a Beatles fan, there's, everybody talks about great pinball that has lots of things to look at and lots of things to discover. We chocked it full of those moments. And we met with the fellow from the United States with Bravado that represents the Beatles, and also their representative from Apple that happened to be over in Vegas at the Love Show. And we got together and had breakfast, and we showed them our presentation. And they took it back to London, and they thought about it. And from what I understand, it was presented to Proy. It says, what is Proy? Proy is Paul, Ringo, Olivia, and Yoko. And they really liked it. And we kind of got a little glimmer of the door open, and we developed it further and, talked about how would we do this. And we thought we would limit it to 1,964 games, and worked with Gary, worked with George. We thought about, what would be the right way to construct this game. None of us thought it should be a modern, ramp-filled pinball. We wanted to bring the playfield up to the glass. We wanted to make it fun. And, a few people that are friends of mine, George and Gary, a friend of mine who works at Aristocrat, Victor Blanco, we all sort of talked about what would be interesting was, constantly we heard from fans of pinball that wouldn't be fun to go back and look at some of the classic Stern products like Meteor or Sea Witch or Galaxy and go back and go, what would be a fun game to bring back into a modern era. And actually we looked really hard at Galaxy at first and almost made Galaxy. And then we started looking at it more closely, and actually, going back and doing Mike Cuban's original Sea Witch, with a modern twist to it, kind of got us all excited, especially considering, all the, it's funny, all the pinball fans kind of forget all, begging for it before, and decided to make it a new edition of the product. It's sort of like saying, you got a Volkswagen Beetle that Ferdinand Porsche designed, and you got a Volkswagen Beetle that Jay Mays designed, They both have four wheels, but that's kind of really where the similarity really ends. This was a redrawn playfield, all the rough edges of the ball getting stuck behind metal guides, and the left orbit not being able to be made, and a lot of those things, we kind of went back and added skill shots and super jackpot shots. Still wanted to keep some of the rules intact because it was a pretty fun game to play. And then, of course, married with the Beatles, and go back and have a magnet to stop the ball on the top so you didn't have endless loops, and then go back and put a spinning disc on it and have the ball be a little more fun. And obviously the original game didn't have multi-ball, if I recall correctly. All of a sudden things started to fall into place. We went back to the Beatles people and showed them what we were thinking, and they got excited about it. And all of a sudden everything just kind of felt good and felt right. And it's killing me. I'm just dying of almost laughter of all these amazing opinions that are out there about, pinball should sell for $1,000, or why would you make a single level game? And we really don't care. We made the game we wanted to make. And this is for the Beatle collector and for the player. The great thing about this product is you can walk up to it and you can play it and you can understand it, and you can understand the objectives, and you have 4 flippers, you can knock out targets, you can make fun loops. It's just, if you guys haven't played the game yet, it's just a heck of a lot of fun.
And so what I've seen in the last couple of days is that, and it's actually been really good for you, I think, to see you on social media, sort of trying to educate people on, what you were going for and what it is. I kind of noticed though that it's been a bit of a barrier for people to really understand. I guess from your perspective, it's like, well, that's not really our market, or is it?
We were trying to make a game that wasn't overpriced, that was really fun to play, that you could put in your house or your office or in a family entertainment center or a bowling alley or someplace where, people can gather and play and have fun and walk up to it and not be intimidated by, a mountain of ramps or obscure rules. I play some of the modern pinballs today. Before I've even plunged the first ball, you're asking me to decide, what path I'm traveling or what character I have to be or what set of rules are going to come up first. And it kind of reminds me of like years ago, there was a Bally game and they had like 3 sets, maybe it's Thunderdome. It had 3 sets of rules. Select which set of rules you wanted. None of the rules were any good. Just select one of 3 sets of bad rules. We just wanted 1 set of really fun rules. We wanted to go back to shoot the blinking light is what you need to get. And then marry it with, 8 Beatles songs. So what we were trying to do is to kind of retro classic. We kind of envision the game as, everybody's talking about the art. And first off, the art palette is the color of what's going to be hot this coming fall of next year. But when you go back and look at this art, Chris and I were really meticulous, as was George and Greg Ferris, to really kind of make this somewhat retro. When was the last time you saw bare wood going through a playfield with just a hard coat on it? We wanted it to feel like a game that was made in 1965, had some of that technology been available then. Guys, you couldn't make a game that's this beautiful 5 years ago because the optical digital printing to make their faces look so great didn't exist. In 1967, we did Gorgar. It was $450 for 11 seconds of speech. This thing is just a marvel. And it's got speech from all the Beatles, and it's got, it's just really fun when multi-ball ready going, and it's singing help, right? And it's really cool when you go into multi-ball and that guitar strums and it's a hard day's night. So I know there are a lot of people pissing in their pots right now. Everybody's telling me they're not going to buy one and can't afford one. And shit, I'm not expecting to buy one. But, put a buck in it and play it. Have fun.
We saw the Diamond Edition the other day, and there didn't seem to be a coin slot in the door. So will this be? Will there be an option to ship with a coin door, and will you be able to put this machine on site, or is this a home use only? Yes.
No. Yes.
Okay.
So all the speculation that no, the answer is yes. Game have a coin door. Okay. Does everybody want one? No, but if you want one, you want to put it in your Pan Arcade, or you want to go to I certainly expect like the actual pinball museum will have one, right? And, they charge people $10 to come in and play it. They don't need a coin door; it's free, right? A lot of arcades today, or family entertainment centers don't have coin doors. But if you want to put a coin door on it and operate it, go right ahead.
I can confirm for you, Ryan, we will get to play this. I know someone that's bought one, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things that we wanted to make sure was, we didn't want all these games to just disappear into private collections, never be seen or played by anybody. And, that's kind of one of the fears we had. Some of the really amazing supercars today, when Ford sold the new Ford GT, they wanted to make sure people would drive them. They didn't want them just going to a collection with a door that was closed where no one ever put their car on the road. So the same thing here. We want people to enjoy the Beatles game, and all the guys that are screaming they can't afford one or it's too much money. I never walk into a Waffle House without playing a jukebox. I don't walk into a place that's got a pinball and not shove a couple of bucks in the coin slot, because I try and support the business, not just the hobby. And all these guys that are out there complaining about stuff, put a buck in the game and have some fun. Lighten up. You know, I said to one guy yesterday, it's not a heart lung machine, and get a life. You know.
Joe, you the 8 songs that are in there, will they be the full songs, or was there any licensing restrictions about which part of the song you can play?
There were some restrictions on length of play. A couple are longer than others, but you know how we designed the game. You know, most of the modes are 30 or 45 seconds. The songs are a lot longer than that, of course. But you know, we didn't need every last second of it. This was, and people don't get it. You know, that are all complaining about, you know, this game. I licensed Jurassic Park. I licensed Star Wars. You know, I had South Park. I had the best of the best of the best brands at the zenith of their moment.
Yeah.
There has never been a license more expensive than Beatles for a pinball machine. So I hope people appreciate the risk we took to make this product. It was a huge risk.
Last time we spoke to you, I think you were saying that, you know, with Beatles licensing, you pretty much only get a window of opportunity once a year. So when you presented your package and everything, is that it? They've approved everything. You've just got to now deliver what has been agreed to. Nothing can be really changed because there's no further approvals for another.
Oh, no. We adjusted and modified up until just last week to refine, or we found some extra images that they found to give us for the display or things like that. This has really been a living, working piece of, you know, what we approved was, here's the concept. What we delivered was a final product. So, you know, again, it was just baby steps along the way. The people from Apple Corps, Paul, and was incredible to work with. Beetle Joe in New York from Bravado was, you know, a guide of every step. I mean, they went through everything with fine-tooth combs. I will tell you, Chris pulled his hair out, and you know, Greg pulled his hair out, and yeah, I pulled my hair out. I mean, we got a lot of things in this product that really made it really special. And you know, we all felt this was the right era of Beatles to present. You know, this was how most of us remember that first moment, you know, when the game starts and it goes, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles, you know, I get goosebumps. It's fun. I was alive then. You know, it's funny. I think, you know, a lot of our commenters today on social media are, you know, in their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s. They weren't alive to experience when the Beatles came to America. Okay. Mm-hmm. But our vast baby boomers who, I mean, you go online and you see, you know, autographed albums of the Beatles for $100,000, or, you know, a musical instrument, you know, going for charity for $50,000. I mean, people are into and collect Beatles. So again, you know, we wanted to make something that was in range, that you know, still makes it special. I mean, everybody talks about Supreme. Okay, well, some people bought Supreme for $10,000. Some people bought Supreme for $10,000 and left it in a box and put it on eBay, and every day they look and see if it sold for $70,000, and it hasn't. But all the guys that now are playing one that's $10,000, they think they got a $70,000 pinball. What the heck is wrong with that? You know? Okay, enjoy the fantasy. I just won the lottery. I don't think anybody that gets a Beatles game will ever regret it, and then they'll never have trouble reselling it, and they'll never have trouble having friends that want to come over and play it, or women that will want to play it, or kids will want to play it. I mean, guys, it's the Beatles. You know, reality check here. We finally really have a Beatles pinball. And, you know, all this conversation about, you know, it didn't have this and it didn't have that. And, you know guys, you know, to run a modern pinball factory and to build a pinball and to build pin plates and to do art and screens and programming, it's damn expensive. This stuff's not being made in China. It's being made here in Chicago. It's expensive.
So, look, I also saw a comment by you where you said that they're either going to sell out pretty quickly or they're selling really fast. Who do you think is buying them? Who's buying them? Are they collectors, or are they part of the pinball community?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, it's going to be the reason we're in production, you know, next week. It's going to be the hot thing for Christmas this year. I mean, you're a baby boomer. You know, you've got extra cash. The stock market's been good. You've got a game room. Who's not going to want to buy a Beatles pinball for the family and put it in their basement, or show it off to their office, or in their man cave, or their woman cave. Then again, the FEC, Family Entertainment Center, like a Dave and Buster's, we may get a pinball back on location, right? We may get a pinball back in a movie theater. It's not so complex. It's not so hard to maintain. You don't have to take ramps off to clean. I saw a lot of comments about Total Nuclear. That's a really nice little game. I enjoy playing that product. Just because somebody makes a Fiat and somebody makes a Chevy doesn't mean they're both not bad transportation. I think, we don't have to trash one to the detriment of the other. Charlie Emery built a nice product. It's fun. Does it have a lot of drop targets? No, but then again, Laser War was really fun. It has 9 targets and a ramp, three top lanes and 3 pop bumpers. This game's got, 3 banks of drop targets. It's got 4 flippers. It's got lots of targets. It's got lots of really fun shots. By the way, and it's reminiscent of a playfield that no one has seen for 40 years. So, okay, the 35-year-old guy that's puking about it, writing stuff, never played it when it was new. And if he wants to say, I can play with Beatles on my headphone, okay, have fun. It ain't the Beatles game, trust me. It's just not. So
talk to us about the price, Joe. I don't think it's officially been announced yet, but there's talk that it's the same price for all of them, but the distributors have to buy them in lots, and they get to choose what they sell the 2 higher end models at.
Yeah, I'll let Gary comment and John on pricing. I really don't do any of that part, and it's not part of my deal with them. But the original strategy was to create a collectible tier for the product. The diamond will be a little more special. The gold will be special in its own way. Okay, and look, operators, the guys that buy pinballs, that sell them, they're entitled to make a profit. And what it'll allow us to do is, allow if they come as a package of, I think, 10, 1 diamond, 2 platinum, and 7 gold. Will there be some tiered pricing? Yeah. Will people, the market will bear what the market will bear. If you want to have a Beatles game that plays like a Beatles game, buy a gold one. It's plenty fun. It looks beautiful. And actually, maybe my personally, I think I like that backlash the best. But everybody's got their preference. But again, this is something designed to be very different than what we would call a pillar game or a tentpole game for Stern. This is a one-off specialty product in partnership with me that's not intended to sell the same way as every pinball, and it's not intended to be the same as every pinball. It was really positioned to be, a specialty boutique product that, Gary and I will do something special every year or 2 or 3. If I find something I think is worthy of my time and my effort, and to put my name on, that I think will be different than everything else the collectible community gets. Look, there are plenty of Medieval Madnesses out there, okay? There are going to be a whole lot of Deadpools out there. There are going to be 1,964 Beatles, and if half of them go overseas, okay, you've only got 800 Beatles for the entire U.S. marketplace. It's not a lot of games.
What does the diamond and platinum version have over the gold version? Is it mostly to do with the cabinet and translate art? It's cosmetic. Okay.
Cabinet, translate art, mirror backlash on the diamond, numbered signed certificates of authenticity, things like that. Okay. They're the same game primarily, but I don't think we're going to have a hard time selling 800 pinballs in America.
What's the involvement with cousin Brucey? It was announced that he's doing the call outs, I think, for the pinball machine.
Yep. Yeah, and that was a great piece of work by Jerry Thompson. Cousin Brucey was the original. He's like an XM DJ, and he does like a 60s show on XM every week. And in 1955, when they came to Shea Stadium, he was the announcer that announced them to all of New York City.
Yeah.
So he met the Beatles. He knew the Beatles. He promoted the Beatles. He introduced the Beatles. And I thought, wow, how nostalgically fantastic would that be to get him to do the speech? And Jerry flew to New York, and he got all excited about it, explained to him how the game worked, how the game speech worked in the game. And really, it's just perfect. So it's a little bit of 60s DJ. It's a little bit of, it's got 8 60s Beatles pop hits songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a great video and speech. The display work will be the most beautiful display work you've ever seen on an LCD display on a pinball. We brought in a specialist for that has done work with me when I was at Aristocrat. And I'm telling you, the display work it's just top drawer, eye-popping, sparkle stick worthy stuff. So, again,
I think we got a little sneak peek in that little teaser video at the end, and I guess people didn't know because it was the full screen and it wasn't on the LCD. But if that's what it is, it looks pretty good.
It's great stuff. So this is a very meticulously designed, well thought out game. And the rules are fun, and they're tweaked, and they're understandable, and they're challenging. I mean, if you like playing pinball, anything for free, this game's going to make you work to get stuff.
Yeah, well, me and Marty were talking about it, that it borrows a lot of aspects of Stern Electronics Sea Witch, but the differences look like they're enough to kind of totally change the way that you play the game, with the loops, the magnet, the super jackpot target under the drop targets.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, does it play kind of anything like Sea Witch? Is it a very fast game? Is it a bit more stop and shoot?
It's fast. It's fast. You've got a really great playfield. Yeah. It's been reimagined, and you don't have to worry about something that's right. We didn't want to screw this up. The rules are good, but they're challenged. They're deep, and they're multi-ball, and there's you got to do a lot of things to get to higher levels of scoring, and there's depth. But then again, if first-time pinball players never played pinball before, and this is going to attract them to the game, or you just want to have something casual in your basement that, again, you don't have to spend 15 minutes to, deciding what character to select first before you play.
Yeah.
Plunge and play. Shoot the blinking light. Knock down the targets. Everybody goes and they play all these classic games with all the pin shows, and they kind of have fun with it. But this is like a new car with old attributes, right? Everybody loved the new T-Bird. Everybody likes the 911. Right? The 911 isn't different. The 911 looks a lot like the 911 that came out in 1964. You look at both of them, you go, they're both Porsches, but a new 911 is not the same as a 911 from 1965. And I think that's probably the analogy I can give you. Yeah, okay, it looks a little like Sea Witch. Tell me, it doesn't play like Sea Witch. Sea Witch didn't have strong flippers like these games have. They didn't have digital sound. They didn't have displays. They didn't have magnets. They didn't have multi-ball troughs. They didn't have a lot of stuff. Yeah, the Sea Witch, it's a 911. It looks really good, but the new 911, that's a whole different beast. And by the way, the new 911 sells for $100,000, not $6,000 too. So,
George Gomez said on our show that kind of Stern wants to be all things pinball, and they want to kind of dip their toes in all aspects of pinball, whether it be, the Supreme Pinball Machine, the Spider-Man Home Edition, their regular Cornerstone games. And then, of course, he was kind of alluding to this new thing that was coming. So, me and Marty kind of heard rumors about it, and so we weren't surprised, but we were taken aback by the reaction. And I guess it's just people's resistance to change and I guess accept anything new, and that comes in all aspects of life. But
we have this problem out there in the world today. Everybody hides behind their handle, right? Everybody hides behind their computer screen. And pinball community, I just got some advice to you. Lighten up. Play pinball, have fun. You don't like the game, you don't have to play it. You don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. You want to pass judgment on it before you've played it? No, I'm going to prove you wrong. I've done that my whole career. This is a damn fun, great pinball machine. It's exactly the game the Beatles wanted us to make. It's exactly the game Gary, George, and I wanted to make. And working with our vision and how it turned out. I hope you all like it a lot. And we may see another Kapow product in the future. Yeah.
Well, we hope so.
But I'm not sure what we'll do get to outdo the Beatles, because this one's a doozy.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thanks very much for coming on, Joe. Really do appreciate your time, and we look forward to playing this machine and seeing it very, very soon. Yeah,
well, production starts, I think, next week. So if you guys want one, you better get your orders in, because they really, truly are moving fast. And, and if not, I hope you enjoyed playing it when you sit on location or at a friend's house. It's just an absolute ball.
Awesome.
All right, Joe.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much.
All right, fellas. See you. Have a good day.
Bye.
So, there we go, Ryan. That was Joe Kaminkow back for a second helping on our podcast. What did we learn?
There is going to be a coin door. After all that bullshit that we spewed out, there is going to be a coin door. Interesting about the songs. Yeah,
well, I was going to say, but the pictures that we've seen so far, God knows whether they're legit, don't actually have a coin slot on the door. So, whatever.
Oh, yeah, it was fair to assume based off the rumors and then based off the picture, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll know in a couple. I mean, Stern are going to release, I think, tomorrow or the next day on the 6th of November, I think is the official release of the proper on their Facebook page. I don't know why they do the whole 2-week thing. I guess let Pinside have their meltdown and then everyone can come around after 2 weeks.
Yep. Well, so before the interview, which feels like only seconds ago, you had said, that you're looking forward to playing it. And so am I. And I've spoken to a lot of people about it. And I've spoken to a lot of people in person, unlike you, where you had
chat online,
battle the trolls. And you know what? Every person that I've spoken to said, it looks good. I like the look of it. I just don't like the price of it. Yeah, which is fair enough. But
100%. Everyone's like, how much does it cost, Ryan? Like, this looks awesome. How much does it cost? I'm like, all right, like 8,000 US is the rumored price. Convert that, add GST, this, that. And yeah, like about 13,000 Australian dollars is what I'm guessing. But I'm like, oh no, not for that much. So it's a collector's piece, right? It's always going to be a collector's piece.
But I'll tell you the point where I got it. So, because I've been sort of scratching my head a bit going, that's an asking price, and that's not a machine with very deep rules or ramps and all that kind of stuff that we expect. But it was when I was listening to Joe Kaminkow, and he said, you know what? When we were looking at the Beatles license, we thought to ourselves, let's make a retro machine. And as soon as he said that, I went, yeah, okay, I get that. And I think about the Beatles. If you were to make a modern machine, I just don't think you would be able to capture that retro vibe of the Beatles. It would be just another Stern. Well, it'd be a great Stern. Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't, but what sets this apart now is the fact that it is very different to all other Sterns, and
except for Seawitch.
Well, modern Stern as opposed to Stern Electronics, but it really does set itself apart, and as a result, it has massively polarized people, but it will sell out.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Like, is the demand there? Is it not? To me, it's almost like 50-50. It only sells out if everyone is like the hype gains a bit of, like the machine gains a bit of momentum.
Yeah. Well, as he said, I don't know whether he's got the official distribution numbers, but he was saying, half of those for America, half of those for the rest of the world. That's 800 machines to be sold in America. That's fuck all.
That's the maths on that is not right. Half of 1,964 is not 800. That's missing like 300 units.
So 900.
950.
There you go.
Be closer.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we're good at maths.
Yeah.
But it's still not a lot of machines. It's really
anyway,
not. Anyway,
Beatles.
Whatever. Beatles. We're done. We're done with the Beatles, aren't we? I really want to play it. I want to play. I gotta say it. I want to play a sea witch that feels good.
Okay. Well, I'm getting my little ramp, little orbit diverter thingy, shooter lane thing. So
Yeah.
surely, yeah. Anyway, Beatles apparently will be at IAAPA, Marty, on November the 13th, and I can't remember what IAAPA stands for. I don't know what state it's in, but it'll be there.
I think the last time.
A year ago, we talked about the same thing.
Okay, it is the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions.
What state is it in, Marty?
This is the problem that we had last time with this website, is it took us a while to work out where it is. Orlando, Florida.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a friend of the show going there that's going to take some video and pictures for us. So, I mean, the official release is like tomorrow anyway, but there we go. So, talking about prices, segue. Yep, we got an email this week, Marty.
We did. So the local distributor for Stern Pinball Machine is a company called Amusement Machine Distributors, or AMD, we call them. In fact, we had Michael Bowyer from AMD on the show a while ago. And I don't know whether everybody knows, but effectively, over the last, I'm going to say 2 years, Brian, 2 years, the Australian dollar has just been diving and diving and diving. Apparently it started 2 years ago. I don't know what happened 2 years ago, but that's apparently when it started.
Okay.
And our dollar is now just in the poo, is what you would say.
Yeah.
And as a result, AMD have had to put their prices up by 5%.
Yeah, I mean, if you live in the US, you buy at the same currency that Stern sells their pins for, because you're in the same country. And Stern has price rises, so you feel that. But we have to feel the price rise plus any currency swing. And usually it's kind of like it's sticky the other way. Like if the US dollar becomes really good, like in the next 2 weeks or something, and it's back up like 10%, prices aren't going to go down, okay? Yeah. Usually not, because they have to like transfer a lot of money at one time. It's like you have to not hedge, but you have to pretty much buy in advance. You can say, okay, well it's up to 72 cents now. Let's convert $500,000 of Australian funds into US to protect ourselves from any more swings. Anyway, 5% more. So the cheapest price now for a Pro, Marty, is like, what's it, 8,850 Australian dollars?
Yep, there it is.
It's a lot of money.
It is. So that Beatles machine, for example, right now, just straight conversion, if it was $8,000 US, is $11,110.32. Now, that's just a straight conversion. That's unfortunately not how it works. Add about another 50% on that, and then you got your Australian price.
Well, yeah, we have to add GST, which is 10%. And I know in the US there's
customs.
There's ways to get around it in the US where you buy it from a different state, this and that. In Australia, it's not like that. It's all the states cooperate together. There's one tax for the entire country. So unless you're a business, you can claim back that tax. But if you're not a business, then yes, you're paying that tax. So,
so we are in the poo. Everything now pretty much being imported from the States is very expensive for us. So stop doing it. Buy local. Haggis Pinball.
Yeah, I was going to say Home Pin, but he's in China.
No, that's right. They're not. You wouldn't really call them Australian anymore.
No.
So one day, Ryan. One day we've really got to tell what we think about that situation. And I think, and I'm going to jump a few stories ahead, I think that's where it's really going to come out with the twerpies.
Okay. Deadpool has arrived in Australia. Yes. The stock was delayed for whatever reason. Everyone is loving it, Marty. Not everyone, but everyone that owns the machine is saying it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Everyone is very happy. I think it's just the pros. I know someone who's getting an LE and he's just like, yeah, it's going to come in January now. I'm like, January? What the? That's a long time. Anyway, I think it might be sold out in Australia, the alley. I'm not sure. But anyway, we got to play it a bit more on during the week.
Yes, we played it in a tournament.
Yeah, should we just tell the tournament story now so we can talk about Deadpool? Or
Deadpool is an absolute shitter in a tournament. Is that what you were going to say? I just wanted to just check to see if that was what you were going to say.
I was going to dance around it a little bit.
No, just saying it. It fucked us up the butt every game we played.
Yeah, it was a 3 strikes tournament, and I got 2 strikes on Deadpool. You got 2 strikes on Deadpool. So yes, we have an ego, and yes, that's involved in liking it. We both won our games. We're like, oh my gosh,
dare you say that we've got an ego?
Deadpool was amazing, Marty. We won the game. It's so deep. What I kind of dislike at the moment is that once you're in a mode, you really feel like you're stuck in that mode, and that's all you can do.
Yep. That's right.
And how do you blow up the mode? I guess you have to get multipliers or something, right?
Yep. No, I don't. Yeah, I guess
there's team ups and there's weapon upgrades, but
yeah,
I know there's a lot. It's very not risky, but it's very ballsy, right? To create games where, like, when you're in a mode, it's kind of like, not shut everything off, but it really feels like you're just in that mode.
Yeah, that's all there was.
Because the mode has to be like really polished and really good, and I'm not sure if we're there yet with Deadpool. I don't know. I don't want to use the word boring, but it seemed like not a lot of stuff was going on compared to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was literally to the right of it, and Iron Maiden like makes a habit of doing that. Like everything is happening almost all the time. Every shot counts.
Yeah. This one's very linear. It does force you down a certain path, and that's kind of what screwed me both games. And admittedly, I don't really know the rules all that well. Yes, everyone laughs. I don't know the rules ever.
I read the rule sheet, Marty. It took me like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, so that is it. Like,
okay.
There actually isn't that much to it at the moment. Ninja Multi-Ball, I mean, the ramp, everyone complains about that ramp. That ramp was working fine to me. You just have to hit the shot properly.
That's not true.
Really?
That is absolutely not true, because a couple of times I hit that shot absolutely perfectly, maybe a little too perfect. I think
was it on the fly? If you hit it on the no? Okay.
No, not at all. So I just think that if it's too powerful, it'll overshoot and hit the metal on the right, but if it's just got just enough velocity, it'll go up.
The weirdest thing is that when you end up getting that multi-ball, there still isn't like any fanfare. It just starts. And it reminds me of like Lord of the Rings. You have Lord of the Rings now, Marty, so we can talk about this like we really know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You start Two Towers Multi-Ball, which is very close to being the same mech. It's a massive sword we lock 3 balls onto on the playfield. You know what I mean? Like, a new power is rising to war, and all the lights go off.
Yeah, but
this is just Ninja Multi-Ball, and it just starts.
I get this. Okay, here's what I think about that. And I'm going to give them a leave pass until we get further in the code, because, that's choreography that I think needs to be, but if they don't know necessarily where the code's going to go at this stage, don't redo the choreography every time you do a code update. Just get the rules right, and then at some stage, get Tim Sexton in. He's the master of, lights and choreography. Get him to do a bit of polish. Yeah, get him to do some stuff, and then bang.
Yeah, it's still at 0.8 something. So, I mean, this is like Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, maybe not. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy was blaringly obvious that the code, wasn't where it should be, and it was shoot the flashing light.
This is the same. I think this is the same because.
I think the base is there. Like each mode has good rules, but it just seems like it's not that fun yet to play the mode.
No, I know, but that's exactly what Guardians was when it first came out. Everything was there that you had to do. You could start a mode and you could start multi-balls. There just wasn't anything special about that.
But the modes have changed completely, Marty. The modes have changed completely, and the multi-balls have changed completely in Guardians.
No, I know that. But even before they had that major, it was starting to see promise from the start till, 3 or 4 months in. You could start seeing where it was going. It was like, yeah, I can see where. And then bang, that massive code hit, and it's like, yep, you've opened it up. So, Deadpool's got some way to go. But right now, as I said, multi-balls are there. The modes are there. Where the magic happens, and this is, I'll call it the Lyman effect. Yeah, there we go. We're putting him up on a pedestal again. Is the ability to make the combination of things happen that creates magic, as opposed to right now, there's not a combination of everything. You're either in a mode with a multi-ball, or you're in a multi-ball, or you're in a mode. That's it. There's not any of these subtle things that you can sort of bring in to actually create your own instance of that game.
Funny you say that, because the first game I played on it at the tournament was against Daniel, and we both didn't really know how to play it that well. I had a couple games on it previously. And I think he went first and I went second, and I just said, I'm going to copy exactly what you do. Like, let's have the same game and just see where it goes, because this is not a serious tournament. So we did do exactly the same. I chose the same mode that he chose. I brought in multi-ball and he brought it in. We were like 2 or 3 million away from each other at the end of the game, which just kind of like it proves exactly what you said, that it's kind of so not like the experience is kind of the same if you do the same thing.
Yep. It is.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. It's maybe like versus like Star Wars, where it's just like we did the same thing, but you have $1 billion and I have 200 million.
No,
I don't know.
I know. But and that's what I was saying about what Lyman has done with the machines, and I think Walking Dead is probably the example of it, where you've got all the elements there, but he adds some extra things in there that means that now you can combine things multiple ways. So it's not just a mode and a multi-ball. It's a mode, a multi-ball, and a multiply lane. You know what I mean? Or you can then add something to it. So those 3 things that you add together becomes your experience, and that's where the magic happens, and it's just not there now.
I was about to say, like, you got to have more than like 5 modes, or you have to like drill deeper into the mode. But I mean, Iron Maiden just did that, and everyone loves Iron Maiden, so I don't know what it is. The one shot on the playfield which just felt so weird to hit was the shot to the left of the scoop. That it's kind of like that mini horseshoe, and it chucks it sideways on the playfield. And I've never. Yeah, I mean, like usually when there's a horseshoe, like in No Fear with Steve Ritchie and with Star Wars, it kind of like it comes back at your flipper. Yeah. Well, this is kind of like comes back sideways. You've made the shot, but it feels like you're punished by the ball going sideways. I don't know.
It just puts it back into danger. Really, is what it does. Yeah,
and maybe it's worth a lot. I don't know the rules enough for that, but I don't know. I don't like making shots and the ball goes sideways.
Yeah, no, nobody does. I mean, that's the whole thing about pinball is that the more the ball is going sideways, the more danger there is going to be. And you're right, horseshoes. And I've got to tell you, one of the most satisfying shots, I know, let's just say it's the only satisfying shot, is the horseshoe shot in WrestleMania. That's a great shot. That feels really good.
I don't remember it, actually.
Well, it's good. It's good. It's fast. It comes from one flipper to the other. It feels good. Like I guess I'm backing up what you're saying is that traditionally a horseshoe shot is it comes back. This one, it's just fucking looping it and then back into danger.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's the only thing I'll say about now that I've had more time on Deadpool is there is some flow, but it's not a flow game.
People have talked about it, but I don't understand why there's that area of the playfield that's open where the ball can just kind of trickle into the shooter lane. Like when you hit the orbit, I don't know why that's not closed off, because it seems like they could close that off and it was left open on purpose. Maybe that'll be integrated into the firmware. Where it's like, oh, hey, it's a super secret.
Yep,
loop shot something. I don't know. I almost feel like it's not wasted, but like we're reviewing a game that isn't complete. They are selling it, so it does. They do deserve any feedback and criticism. But at the same time, it's just like all the shit we said about Guardians. Now we're like, yeah, we like Guardians.
We love Guardians now, and I think that this has got absolute potential. And you're right. Everyone that I know, hi James, that bought one, loves it.
James, your mate James.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, everyone loves it. As I said, it's just. That's the cool thing about not buying pinball machines. You can be more critical about it. And we do it because we're like, okay, well, we can be happy about not owning it by poo-pooing it, right?
But we're not poo-pooing it. I actually think it's a great game. I'm really looking forward to what they can do with the rules, because it's really the only thing that's sort of letting it down at the moment.
Well, we can play it every month, at Pixel Alley, which is good. They got a really good lineup there. Pretty much every new Stern is going to be there.
We'll talk about Pixel later.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell I've got something to talk about.
Okay.
Anyway, Batman, speaking of code, Batman is now at 0.99. And this particular update is huge.
How big, Manny?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Surely at 1.0, the Super Alley owners will hear their special call out to make them feel good about spending 15k on the machine.
Yep. No, this is, increased minor villain mode select timer.
Who cares?
Setting,
I want to talk about
sounds and
dialed in.
speech.
Okay,
Cleaned
dialed
and
in.
trimmed several bookworm clips.
Okay. So, dialed in. There is beta code out on the JJP secret forum thingy.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're allowed to test it. And I went to a kids' party yesterday that had a dialed in, and I got to play it. So, man, it really feels complete now. They did change a bunch of settings. There's Quantum Theater multi-ball, Marty, and that's by starting all the 4 Quantum Theater modes that they were kind of there before. You probably see them happening like Spider Spinner
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
and you're like,
whatever. Like
it's there, but I'm not going to shoot for it because
that's right. There's no reason.
It's a safe shot though.
Sure.
But yeah, if you do all 4 now, you get Quantum Theater multi-ball. The Bob modes are worth heaps more now, so like getting your selfie taken isn't just for fun; it's for points as well.
Right.
But yeah, the biggest default setting change is the SIM card hold. So if you get a SIM card lit and you drain your ball, it will still be held the next ball. Now I don't know how I think about that because I mean that's what everyone in their head thinks they want, but that just doesn't that like make
but are
the
you
SIM
saying
card
that you
shot
can
less
turn it
satisfying?
off?
Oh, you can put it back. You can put it back to normal.
Okay. No, I think for a casual player, do it.
For a casual player, for sure. I want to be punished because the more punishment you get, the more satisfying it is when you achieve something, I think.
Yeah.
In pinball anyway.
Yeah, look, because I think we talked about this with Raymond Davidson when he was on. I like the fact that the SIM card shot is difficult because besides the Big Bang target, which is still very doable, there's nothing really difficult to shoot for.
Are you saying that you complete all the modes really easily, Marty, every time?
No. There's obviously, there's rebounding and, the ball is wild. But what I'm saying is, there's no other shot really that you look at and you go, oh, that ramp's tough or the orbits are tough or,
okay.
the ball up the ramp is tough. There's nothing that's really brutally tough.
Okay.
Except for the SIM card, so I like that.
Okay. And this is why half of Pat Lawler games are really good and half of Pat Lawler games are really shit because he does make really easy, satisfying shots and you need good code to accommodate for that, right? Like lighting lock on dialed in, okay? The first lock is literally hitting the side ramp or the left orbit and then you've got your ball locked and multi-balls happening. The second time around, you need to hit the left ramp and the right ramp in any order and then the side ramp 3 times. The second time around, you need to hit... the third time around, you need to hit the left ramp and right ramp in a combo, Marty.
Yes, that's right.
The fourth time, you have to hit the left and right ramp in a combo, but it'll only light one shot first, right? So you can't hit any shot to start it. You have to hit the shot that it wants you to light. And I think that's where it maxes out. I'd love to see it one step further where you have to hit a 4-way combo to get multi-ball. So left ramp, right ramp, up the middle, and then side shot. But what I'm saying is that if it was just the same thing every time, then you'd be like, you can get into multi-ball all day, but it just gets progressively harder. And some games like Addams Family and Twilight Zone, like you can do the same thing over and over again because the left and right ramp on Twilight Zone,
right?
Yes, it's so easy that you can just keep on. Like it doesn't get harder at all. So yeah, like Family Guy. Family Guy has amazing shots. You can just get such sweet combos, but they just mean nothing.
Does it?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it does, but there's
Family Guy. I don't like the shots in Family Guy at all.
Okay, here's the shot combo, Marty. I think it's like
it doesn't matter whether the shot combo is. They're all awkward shots. Like they just are.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, left ramp, right orbit, and then the upper shot into that U-turn, whatever, and then it spits it out the right orbit. I don't know. It's satisfying to shoot. It just doesn't I don't know. This game
I
just
find
is
that
missing
machine
something.
really clunky.
Okay. Anyway, Pat Lawler needs a good coder by his side.
Yeah,
Like Ted. Even though Ted is the guy who also did Twilight Zone. that was 25 years ago, Marty. Okay, he's learned a lot since then.
fair enough. Cool.
So that's dialed in. So I guess that'll be coming out of beta soon, and I'm guessing sometime this week, maybe when they clear all the tiny little bugs. Everyone will be getting their new dialed in codes. Very exciting.
Awesome. Well done, everyone.
And dialed in last year, Marty, absolutely cleaned up in the Twippies, and it came last in the Twerpies. I think the TNA and dialed in cleaned up by not getting any nominations.
Mega clash, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the Twerpies. So the Twerpies are our own version of the Twippies, because we weren't smart enough to think of the Twippies by ourselves. Yep. And it basically celebrates the worst stuff in pinball. And yes, we've been on a little thing just before we had the Kaminkow interview about not being too negative, but this is just it's just for fun. It's an Australian way of
giggles. Again, because we like to take the piss. So last year we had worst theme, worst art, worst theme integration, worst callouts, worst sound, worst rules, worst light show, worst toys and gimmicks, worst layout, worst displays and animations, most unreliable game, and worst game overall.
This year we want some more stuff if possible, and I don't know, maybe if people don't want to vote for something like worst light show, like I don't think anyone really gives a crap about the light show, right? Like, this light show is, okay, no. I mean, if there was a game like Ghostbusters or something. Anyway, new, maybe like the worst bang for buck, like maybe like the biggest rip-off pinball, like Mafia, I don't know.
Worst reveal? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the worst way to announce a game.
How about worst person in pinball? We can call that the J-Pop Award.
Oh, no, the Mike... No. J-Pop's a great guy. What are you talking about?
He's awesome. Welcome back. Love to have you back.
I want to interview him one day, Marty. You have to be nice to him. When he releases Magic Girl, the reimagining, the more 3D Magic Girl.
Do you know what? It's funny, I was talking about that literally last night. That Magic Girl has got to be a Deep Root launch title. It's got to be. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sure. He's probably already mentioned it, but I just, have forgotten. But
yeah, he mentions a lot of things. I don't know whether people believe it anymore.
Yeah, everyone just wants to see what they got. Show me what you got. Anyway, don't you reckon the Beatles floating heads kind of looks like that guy? Like the 4 Beatles heads on the back glass? Show me what you... That's what I think. They're all saying that at the same time while you're playing pinball. Yeah. Show us your skills. Play better.
That's Rick and Morty reference for everyone, by the way. When is the next Rick and Morty series out? Surely it's got to be soon.
No idea. He's too busy doing podcasts. Fucking podcasts. He has a podcast out every week, Marty. Do you know what? I mean, talk about everyone's a bit antsy at the moment and touchy. A lot of drama in the pinball world. Do you know what their latest podcast is called?
What's that?
By Harmontown. It's soft on Hitler, hard on dicks.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so that's Dan Harmon, the guy, the creative genius behind Rick and Morty.
Yep. Excellent.
So back to the Twerpies. Twerpies, we want category submissions. So please email us at head2headpinball@gmail.com, or you can use the contact form on our website and let us know if there's a special category that you want. Because I don't know, let's get in early. Let's just do it early, and let's get the Twerpies started maybe in a week or so.
Really?
And actually wait. Let's
see the year out. Come on.
Well, you want to do it the start of next year? Yeah,
we got nothing to fucking say over Christmas. We've seen the stats from last year. There's nothing going on around that time.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody's going to care about, no one's going to listen to us doing the Twerpies. So
I think that's a good thing.
No, we're doing this early. Fuck you, Marty. I'm the one who did all the Google forms and stuff.
No, we're not.
We are. Fight. Email us in. I just don't want Beatles to get unnecessary votes because it was just revealed.
Fair enough. Okay.
Anyway, 24 hours at the scrotum, Marty. Just saw that now.
Oh God, I'm funny. I think so.
So what is What is
24 hours at the Sanctum was actually what was written on the show notes, Ryan. Don't know where you scrolled them from.
Sure.
So, where was it at? Was it like Cincinnati or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the state that's above New York.
24-hour tournament. This is the big tournament, the 24-hour one. It sells out every year. 100 people compete. Really what they're competing with is to stay awake.
Did you see the live stream thing that Steve Bowden did before it started?
No.
Okay, Ron Howlett from the Slanted podcast was on the waiting list, and I think it was like number 13 or something, and 2 people didn't rock up. And he sat there and he read out all the names, and someone said, "Yep, I'm here." It's like, "Cool, you're in." And then he read out it must have been like 10 more names. And if it was any other person, then Ron wouldn't have made it in, but they got all the way to Ron, and he was like, "All right, I guess I'm playing." Oh, he was there to like film, and he wanted to make like this little mini documentary or some crap like that. But anyway, Ron Howlett went in. I think he did pretty bad, but Jeff did good. Jeff Teolis, Bruce did good, and it was won by Bowen Kerins. Bowen Kerins.
Yeah, I think Steve came third, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a pretty bad start, but he came back. But man, Bowen was on fire. He won by heaps.
Yeah, he was on top the whole time.
I think he could have bowed out of the last 2 rounds, and he still would have won. So anyway, we were going to get Ron to come on the show because he wasn't going to play, but we did get our friend Mr. Petey Pinside Petey, to do a bit of roving reporting, and
cool.
He said
he'll never get tired.
As in never get tired, as in...
Yeah, because he's, at the Sanctum.
Okay. So I'm going to play this little interview that he did with a couple of people there, Marty.
Cool.
Pinside Petey here, live reporting for one of these loser podcasters. Anyway, I'm talking to some of the players here at this Scrotum or Sanctum or whatever hell it's called. It's 24-hour challenge. What's this guy's name? He's got an orange shirt on. Generation X Wong. Is that your name?
No, it's Gene X Wong.
You're from San Francisco, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You play at that City Champ?
Oh, yeah. That's at Free Goal Watch every year. It's coming up this December in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'd go, but it's just, I'd probably win and give somebody else a chance to win.
That's very generous of you, but it's already sold out anyways.
Oh, well, I could come if I want. You know who the hell I am?
You're Pinside Petey.
You're damn right I am. And I'm not playing this stupid 24-hour tournament. It's too short. I need something longer. This is for wusses. Wuss with a big camera.
Oh, I like to take photos of, the action. I could take some of you if, might need to use a couple filters or some retouching maybe, but it can make you look pretty nice, actually.
Oh, really? Does it have a filter to fuck off? Here's another guy at the 24-hour Sanctum. His name is Chuck Webster, and he's from here. He's one of those chowderheads. You ran the Trash Talker Invitational, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Petey.
With all the podcasters. There wasn't a lot of blood. I would have liked to see some weapons.
Well, next time you bring a weapon, you're welcome to come. But you wouldn't qualify for the tournament, Petey.
Why?
Because you're just not that good.
Oh, really? Has anyone ever told you talk funny?
Me? Talk funny?
Well, let me just say, I think it's bullshit that the head-to-head guys won. It should have been Mrs. Penn.
Mrs. Penn put up a good battle there, but she didn't win.
She's the only winner in that group.
Yeah, not this time.
Oh, fuck off. All right, here's the last of the losers here at the 24-hour Sanctum. Oh, look at this. Florence Nightingale.
Yes. Hey, Pinside Petey, it's Bruce Nightingale.
Is it really, though?
It is.
Are you making fun of me?
No.
Aren't you the guy from the Silver Ball Saloon?
I am.
Well, I just talked to Gene X, and he plays in a place called Gold Watch. Yours is only silver. Yours isn't that good.
But I got silver balls, big boy. Silver balls.
Creep factor. So, you're the guy from that Scam Tit podcast, aren't you?
Yes, we love to scam tits all the time. But no, it's called Slam Tilt Podcast, sir.
Does anybody ever listen?
Yeah, a couple people, including you, it sounds like.
If I want to try to go to sleep...
Oh, yes. Well, guess what, Petey? We're busy here. We're really busy. But guess what?
What?
Fuck off.
Mom!
And that was legit and at the Sanctum because you could hear the echo, right? So it's legit. What the hell is a chowderhead? I've heard that. I don't know what a chowderhead is.
Fucking love Pinside Petey.
What's chowderhead, Marty?
I don't know. Let's have a look at it up, whilst we're here. Chowderhead.
It sounds like a funny insult that you probably wouldn't get.
It's a mispronunciation of jolterhead, a derivative of the 16th century insult jolthead, before being extended to a thick-headed person.
I thought chowder was like some type of cheese, like you're a cheesehead. All right. Joltheads. You chowderheads. All right.
But there must be something to do with where they come from that they call them chowderheads for some reason. Who knows?
I'm sure someone will email in.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And we asked the question on Facebook, what would be enjoyable for 24 hours? And we got nothing. I mean, we got answers. Like sleeping is the one that I agree with. Someone said anything that's addictive. That was from Richards. I'm like, yeah, but what's addictive that could be fun for 24 hours? It's not pinball. Like, you can watch Jeff Teolis's video, and he goes to Tim Sexton. He's like, hey, go on, Tim Sexton, and he's always happy. He's always happy. He's just like,
that.
He's like,
he just gave evils to me.
No, not evil. It was just
it was like, don't interrupt me.
No, like I've given up on life. It's just everyone's just tired and cranky as fuck.
But that was at the start. They'd only been like 6 hours in.
Okay.
So I think.
Okay, I watched the one that was further. Anyway,
I think it was Timmy just going, "Get away! I'm not in the mood."
Okay.
There you go.
Is it time for?
What do you want to talk about? Sling
spots. Yep. Sorry, Marty. Sorry, I'm reading Marty's show notes. No, I got them this week. The sling spots. Yes, you can have some of mine because I got like 8 of them. I will give you some. But basically, actually no. You got Pin Stadium lights. You don't need them. This is
not on all my machines.
Okay, what machines do you not have Pin Stadium on? Just Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, which is
okay. They'll fit on Lord of the Rings. I was getting mine for Twilight Zone because it's so dark. I didn't realize, and I should have told him because he's like, "Hey, can you measure the hole for this, and that?" I'm just doing the final production run, so I was helping him out, and then I didn't check underneath the playfield, and they kind of don't fit, but apparently I can zip tie them together. But the leaf. Sorry, I should start from the start quickly. These are spotlights that go underneath your slingshots to provide kind of like Pin Stadium lighting, but like a very small section of your playfield, just the area around the flippers. But yeah, you need to basically take the slingshot switch off the bracket, put these in, slide it in, and then put it back on. But on Twilight Zone, it is riveted into the bracket, so you can't do that. So I will give, I guess, my review next week when I find some time to do it. But yes, they look very good quality. Social media watch. So,
we need to get a call out for that.
Social media watch.
Jersey Jack Pinball. I don't think they know how Pinside works, Marty.
No, they mustn't. They really mustn't.
Yeah, I remember Charlie was like, "Oh, I'm so proud. TNA is number 1 on Pinside." And what does everyone do? Everyone's like, "TNA shit. TNA."
Yeah, you're down. You're going down.
The Pinside PD Brigade basically comes in downvotes. So they stupidly announced that they are number 2 on the Pinside Top 100. That was last week.
Now 12.
It was going to happen. It was always going to happen. What else did we see this week on social media, Marty?
Well, so we saw that apparently Bill and Ted is going to get a pinball adventure.
Oh my God. I love Bill and Ted. I watched that movie when I was a kid.
It would make an awesome pinball machine. That and Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little Chowder.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, like 99.9% sure this is just a troll, but
it really is. Somebody has got the picture and just pasted Stern's logo over the top, and then bang, it's out there. So you know what?
It's free. It is free marketing, though, right?
Sure.
You could ring up a company and say, "Hey." This is probably exactly how it worked out, Marty. So okay. Jody Dankberg is on the phone to whatever studios that owns the Bill and Ted license, and they're like, "Look, we've got a new movie coming out, so it's going to be hot again. Do you want to license our awesome IP for a pinball machine?" And they're like, all right, can we get like 2 weeks to give you a yes or no, but can we get exclusive negotiation rights? I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries. And they're like, "Hey, Deadflip, can you please release this image on your social media?" and gauge the reaction. So he releases it. It goes pinball viral, which is literally like a pinside thread with 100 posts, and then deletes it. So it causes more speculation. And then people let everyone know, like, they can't send a survey out. Hey, would you like this pinball machine? I don't think George Gomez is going to log into Pinside and say, hey guys, what do you think about this?
Hey, you guys.
Hey. So I was thinking, Marty, should we do the same thing?
Sure.
But yeah.
Just something will happen.
Something will happen, but we need all of our listeners to be in on it, right?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to release a picture for a little while on one of our social media accounts sometime this week. Can someone please screenshot it? We will then take it down and start a Pinside thread and just see how, I know we have a decent amount of listeners, but surely like a very small portion of Pinside users. So I just want to see how far this will go.
Yep. Okay.
And don't spoil the party. Just be in on it.
Yeah. Like, be fun. Don't be a Debbie Downer.
Exactly.
So, what else? Colour DMD have announced their next title, Ryan. Their 81st title, in fact.
Who done it, baby?
I think that this will look good.
It does surprisingly have cool dots, especially when you you choose who's the murder person, and then it does that cool thing where you're on the roof and it kind of pans out.
That music. Oh, I love that. It's actually one of the most dramatic pieces of music in pinball.
Doesn't that start like a 50 million hurry up or something? I haven't.
Yeah, and it comes down, but just the music and everything, and lights are flashing, and it's like, oh fuck, I've got to do something.
That's another thing that's missing from Deadpool at the moment. No, I've been playing a decent amount of Whirlwind this week, and it's just like there isn't much to this game code wise, but that multi-ball, it just. Here it comes, the start of it. Yeah. It's so well choreographed. It's so fucking good. Anyway. Slam Top 100. Last week, Marty.
Yeah, so last week was Rocky and Bullwinkle versus Farfalla.
Yep.
You had the much better GIF.
You had two guys touching their nipples. That's hilarious.
Yeah, true. I know, it was hilarious as well.
I had a girl giving a fake handshake.
Sex in pinball, come on.
Exactly.
Me too. Meaning, me too, I want some. No, I don't know.
Are you drunk tonight, Marty?
I am. Well, it's a public holiday tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
So, that's for those people that actually have a day job.
I work for myself, so it's never, I'm on US time.
You work whatever fucking hours you want. Anyway, so Rocky and Bullwinkle, you got 42 votes, I got 34 votes, you got 55%, I got 45%. What of it?
2 in a row. What of it? And tell us the truth now, Marty. You would rather play Rocky and Bullwinkle, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. I fucking love the theme. But the things I said about it...
Liar.
No, but the things I said about it last week were actually true. They did not sample anywhere near as many call-outs as they should have, and it gets really repetitive. Oh my God, if I hear that one more time. And that's one of the best parts of the show, but when you hear it on repeat...
What did you actually say? I don't know this.
Wrong hat.
Oh, wrong hat. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing up my sleeve. Anyway. One of my absolute favourite shows, and the layout is a bit awkward.
You sound like you watched a lot of TV as a kid, Marty, and you've made up for it as an adult by watching, no movies. Thunderbirds, Rocky and Bullwinkle, you just watch a lot of TV, right?
Yeah, okay. You ready?
Yes.
It's a really simple explanation.
Yes, the internet didn't exist.
No. Well, when I was a kid, all I had was fucking school. Right?
Fucking school?
Fucking school. I went to school, Okay. And I hated school. And it's really funny because, don't tell anyone, I hope they don't listen, but my oldest daughter, she hates school. And I just look at her and I go, you are so me. I get why you hate school because it's fucking boring. So we watched a lot of television. And I was from a big family of kids. We were sort of out and about, but we watched a lot of television before school and after school. So as I became an adult, I've barely watched TV now or movies because I'm just out doing things and I had school there. Now I've got work and I just don't have as much time as I would like.
You love work though, Marty, don't you?
Yeah, I actually do really love my work. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a deeper insight into Marty's life. He likes work.
I do like work. Yeah.
Okay.
I work with good people. So, there you go. Hi, Luke.
Please generate a number from 100 to 200.
Coming right up. 143.
Centaur 2.
Centaur 2.
Is Centaur 2 just Centaur with a different cabinet?
Yep.
Oh, that's easy.
Yep.
Your favourite fucking game, Marty.
No, it's not. How dare you? No.
Yeah, no, it's not. But next week I'll tell you, I love Centaur. Hitting those orbs. Every time I go to the Rosstown arcade, I smash that game. I get the highest score every fucking year on Centaur because I love the game. I even got a custom T-shirt made. Sorry, I got to say this for the argument. Okay. You're going down, Marty. Please generate a number from 100 to 200.
Coming right up.
Gotta give me a good one now.
103.
Ooh. Corvette.
Corvette. Love it. One of my favourite games.
Okay.
Yep. This is just a sensational game. George Gomez's first game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. His crowning achievement. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about Corvette. So, for years, Corvette, the car has, it's delivered what drivers like. So, speed, performance, and excitement. And this pinball follows that same over-the-top tradition. And there's plenty in this powerhouse to catch the eye of Corvette fans. And pinball diehards are like, all right, let's forget the flyer. I've played this a lot. Have you, Ryan?
I've played it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He hasn't played it.
I also haven't played Thunderbirds, Marty, but I know what I feel about that.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so this was a great, first game by George Gomez, and this is probably, I'd say probably his fastest game would be Johnny Mnemonic, but this would be a close second. This is a very fast, flowy game. It's got modes, it's got great multi-balls, it's got this engine, I think it's the LT5 engine, just off the top of my head, that you put the ball in and you can sort of move it back and forth and it revs and it makes noise. And you've got the two cars on the right-hand side, like a physical model of two cars where you flip the flippers and you do actually a drag race. It's got great sounds. It's got great rules. Guys, Corvette is a much better game than Centaur. I can tell you now.
Okay. Centaur. Now, I'm doing Centaur too, but it is pretty much the exact same game, just in a different cabinet because I had a bunch of cabinets left over. Even in its slightly uglier cabinet, okay, it is still a better game than Corvette because this game, when it came out, Marty, 1983, so far ahead of its time compared to the Stern Electronics games. And I know this would be your argument versus...
Oh, it totally is, by the way.
Yeah, Quicksilver and stuff, because Stern back then were cheaping out and they weren't pushing the boundaries, right? They were just...
Oh, keep telling me heaps of stuff about Stern because I'm going to need that for when I'm on Slam Tilt.
But Centaur, such unique rules, right? Yes, you only have two flippers, but you have 5-ball multi-ball. What? That might be normal now, but back in 1983, that shit blows your fucking mind, Marty. 5-ball multi-ball in a game where Stern was struggling to even put 2-alls in their game. So, very unique rules, Marty, like the 4-bank drop targets with a little gap in the middle where if you spell it in order, you can pretty much like start a multi-ball orbs, right? And if you don't do it in order or you don't, if you get the ball up top and you don't get into the lanes, it says like try again human. And you love that call out so much, Marty, that you got a custom t-shirt made just for that. So Marty loves this fucking game.
Wrong call out, but anyway, keep going.
Yeah, something similar to that. The art, hey, if you're into art, amazing. Black and white with red. It's people love the black and white Twilight Zone. Well, hey, they did it 25 years ago. Was it 35 years ago? 35 years ago. Just an amazing game overall. There's no one thing you can do to score like in some of the Stern games, like stars. Hit the 5 stars and light special. Whoa, really good. This, for its time, had very innovative rules, and once again, Marty loves it. Now, Marty, as painful as it's going to be, tell me why Centaur 2 is a shit game.
Oh, I'm going to talk about Corvette and why Corvette's a better game.
Okay, yep, you can do that.
No, I'll tell you what. your Centaur 2 is the super LE of its time. There's actually nothing on it, anything more than the standard Centaur. They ran out of rapid fire. Well, rapid fire was a ball bearing type game that they produced, and it absolutely bombed. So they had all the cabinets left over. So therefore, they used them for Centaur 2, 8-Ball Deluxe, like a special edition, and I think a Pac-Man one, Mystery Ms. Pac-Man, and the price went up. So you're actually paying for the same game.
We're not in 1983, Marty.
It was, and right now they go for more, and it's the same game. And you know what? A bit of colour on the playfield wouldn't have fucking hurt. Seriously. But I'll actually tell you the biggest problem with Centaur right now is that whenever you see one, if you ever do see one, they're never in good condition. Just build quality was terrible.
Okay. We always talk about, Marty, like, how do you judge a pinball machine? And I think you said as early as like last week or the week before, you have to judge it based on what pinball machines were out at the time, right?
I don't think I ever said that.
Yeah, no, you do. I said about like Stern Grand Prix, I'm like, well, it's actually not a bad game. And you're like, yeah, but there were other games coming out at the same time that were better, like Lord of the Rings, Simpsons Pinball Party, etc. So, Centaur, for its time, amazing, out of this world. Corvette, for its time, okay? This is when Bally Williams were producing games like Addams Family and such classics as Roadshow. No, I shouldn't say Roadshow. Twilight Zone, just the classics of the 90s. Now,
you hate both those games, so bad argument. Keep going.
George Gomez is the only guy I think that's still around from this team, because he said himself, like, it was a new team, kind of like Iron Maiden, and everything kind of aligned with that. I don't think things really align with this, because you got guys like Bill Grump, Tom Urban, Dan Hughes, Eugene Gear, Scott Paul Hitch, and Vince Pontarelli. Do you know any of those names, Marty?
Yeah, I do. Like, so Scott, for example, Scott Slamani, he's been involved in Black Rose, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Corvette, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Demo Man, Dirty Harry, Doctor Who, Fishtails, Indiana Jones Pinball Adventure, the one that you like.
That's animation.
No,
okay, that's animation.
So, right. So, no, you're trying to call out these random names going, oh, these people. Well, they did Star Trek Next Generation, T2, Addams Family, Flintstone, Getaway, Party Zone, Pinball Circus, there you go, Shadow, Twilight Zone, Whitewater, and World Cup Soccer. So, shittest argument ever. Everybody, okay. You've got to vote for me because his argument is just falling apart.
Okay, and what did that guy do?
Like his Centaur 2, which falls apart. I'm telling you,
Marty, tell everyone what that guy did on the machine. Just dots. No one gives a shit about the dots, Marty. That's not why you play the game.
You get the biggest wood about dots. So
I get wood about sounds, Marty. Anyway, Corvette. Toys and gimmicks, Marty. That racetrack, you mentioned that like it's like off the fly, like it's something good.
Awesome.
It takes up half, like a shitload of the playfield, and adds
half, and it doesn't take up half.
Well, I can exaggerate like you exaggerate with everything. It takes up 95% of the playfield and adds no enjoyment at all. Two cars racing each other. Cool the first time you see it, Marty. After that, not so much. And it's a blatant ripoff of future guests of the show, Christopher Franchi, with those hexagons in the middle. Come on, you can't just put.
Oh, right. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
You can't put 9 hexagons when Franchi put like 1,000, right? Like you can't just put 9.
24 years ago,
absolute ripoff.
George Gomez ripped off Chris Franchi like 20 years in the future.
George Gomez has a time machine, Marty. Why do you think he looks so young?
George Gomez is a genius, and his design was ahead of its time, is what I'm hearing you say.
Okay. Well, you're going to lose 3 weeks in a row, Marty, so enjoy that.
Come on, guys. Corvette. He's going to give me a shit gif. So
Corvette, Marty. It's literally like the Mustang, a better racing theme. Grand Prix, NASCAR, Dell Jr., better racing theme than this. This is down the bottom of
So then why is it 103 on the top 200 and your one 143? Why?
It is one of the lowest, Marty, because solid state machines don't do well in the Pinside top 100. We've already discussed that.
So there you go.
The 90s Bally Williams era, that is probably like the second lowest out of all those games.
All my good friends from Pinside, I love you. You know, I have only said good things about Pimple at Pinside. those people that have voted for Corvette on Pinside, I need you now. Vote for me. Social justice.
Social justice. Pinball ending. What did he call himself? Anyway, so that's Slams Up 100. That will be on Facebook midweek, and you can vote for who had the best arguments.
Which no one ever does.
No one, just the better game, which will be center. You can't, you win, you lose or win regardless.
Okay. All right, this week in pinball, what did we do, Ryan? Well, we talked about Pixel Alley before, and I had a really fun night. I came third in the end, so this is a triple strike elimination, head-to-head.
Yeah, I came fifth. I was really happy with how I played, except for that last match on Iron Maiden where I got nothing started and then tilted out right before I started multi-ball. We had a match together on Guardians. That was fun for me because I won.
You know the fun part about that game, don't you?
I know what you're going to say, Marty. I predicted it, and I want to hear you say it, Marty.
No. I want you to tell me.
I was talking behind you the entire time.
You weren't just talking behind me. No.
Yes, I was doing the pinball community a service.
He's got multi-ball. Oh, and now if he does this, and he's got to shoot the right ramp. I mean, fuck off. I'm trying to play a fucking game. I don't need you in my ear commentating my game. Fuck.
Is that why you lost, Marty?
Yep.
Well, no. Where were your headphones, Marty? Where were your trusty headphones?
Do you know what? As soon as I arrived, I went, oh, damn it, I wish I brought my headphones. But, you know what? I lost that game, but I had a pretty good comeback. So I was pretty happy with how, I was on 2 million on the last ball and ended up on 75 mil. So I was happy with that because you were over 100 mil. So,
by the way, I was explaining. I wasn't trying to put you off, as you know. I was explaining the game rules to someone so I can increase everyone's knowledge and further the pinball community. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Probably just not with the foghorn voice.
It's quite loud there. It's quite loud.
Your voice is, yes.
Just admit once that when I beat you, Marty, it's because I played better, and when you beat me, it's because you played better. That's what there is to it. Better.
You actually played. You fucking blew up that machine. It was freaking awesome to watch. So that's true.
No, I wouldn't call 130 million a blow up, but anyway.
Well, compared to everybody else playing that game. But here's the thing. It didn't really matter. Had I won that tournament, wouldn't have made any difference to my rating.
Yeah. It's be worth more.
Yep.
40% TGP.
Yep.
We need more points. Hey, guess what? Guess what's maybe happening next year, Marty? I will prematurely say it so that it puts the pressure on Luke to implement it.
Sure.
Statewide rankings.
Yeah, great.
How fucking fun would that be if you're rated second to Victoria and I'm rated third? Yeah. That's probably way too high, but I'm going to catch you, bitch.
No, because I think I am third in Victoria.
Okay, I'd be 15th or something. But what I'm saying is just it'd be so much fun to have just ratings against just and this already exists in the US, and I don't nothing to do with the whole dollar thing and eliminating ACS. Just the top 32 get to play a tournament at the end of the year, and the winner is crowned.
And 30 of them are from Queensland. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It would only be for tournaments inside. Yes.
That's right. No,
you have to be. Yeah. Anyway, that'd be fun. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Good.
What else did we do? Okay, I came over and we filmed the installation video for the Monkey Witch, the Monkey mod, which is now sold out, Marty. He's sold out because of us, Marty. Because of us.
Well done. Awesome.
Yeah. He's rich now, millionaire.
Yep. So I now have a Monkey mod on my Wizard of Oz, and God, it's good. It's really good. It just, I don't know. It's not like, all of a sudden I've got a brand new machine, but you just look at it and you just think, what a clever guy for coming up with this. It's just really good.
Yeah. No need to shill it, Marty. It's already sold out. We collected our checks.
It actually just looks great. And the best part of it was you installed it. I didn't have to touch it.
You filmed it.
Yeah,
anyway.
Sure. Fair enough.
And your Lord of the Rings is now fixed.
Yes, you fixed my Lord of the Rings. Oh, well, it's not really fixed.
What's happening?
The opto on the sword ramp is still not working. And
you forgot to tell me to check that out.
No, you checked it out.
Okay, yes, and it was working.
It was working, and I went, oh, damn it, it's
okay.
going to work now, but anyway.
Just remind next time I'm over there,
Yeah.
Just resoldered the opto pins. Anyway.
Yep. No. So there you go. My machines are now great, and so I got to kill the ring or whatever it is, destroy the ring.
Kill the ring.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Kill the ring. Done.
Do you enjoyed destroying the ring, Matty?
It's one of my favourite things to do.
After a few drinks, you like destroying the ring?
Not even drinking.
Okay. I sold Whirlwind this week. It wasn't my machine. It was a mate's, and I was just meant to lend it for a couple of weeks and sell it. And it took about 30 seconds to sell, Matty, a whole 30 seconds to sell. And I was like, man, why doesn't anyone want to buy this Stern Grand Prix? Can that please sell out in 30 days? Yeah. Sometimes you don't know when you list a pinball machine up, like what price to list it. So he took a little bit of a haircut on it, and it just went like that. And then someone else messaged me like, hey, if the sale falls through, I'll take it for that amount. Whirlwind. People love it, Marty.
Awesome.
And Marty, what's my name?
Ryan C.
Private Ryan C to you, Marty. Private Ryan C, because I am now an official Stern Army member.
Awesome.
How cool is that, Marty? So
That's
cool.
great.
I don't know what it means. I think I just have to just say that Stern is the best now.
Do you have a Stern Army dog tag?
It's in the mail.
Okay.
How did you get yours, Marty?
See? There you go. First person in Australia. Stern Army dog tag.
What's your ranking, Marty?
That's not important.
Exactly. You're just a peasant. I'm a private, Marty. Private.
Yeah. Where's your dog tag is all I'm asking.
Okay.
Where is it? Because you've got no evidence except you stating it. Well, I'm the Prime Minister of Australia. Don't have a badge, but I'm telling you. So, anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, Pinball Paradise is now a Stern Army location. I'm not sure if it'll be. I don't think it'll be the next tournament coming up, but maybe the Flip Frenzy that'll be running soon. That, yes, be the Stern Army.
Awesome.
Thingy. Yes. Right. What did you get after this week, Money?
Hope you get a free pinball machine out of that.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. You just shill Stern, and then they just send you free pinballs.
Yep.
I'll take one Beatles, thanks. Diamond edition.
Diamond edition. Thank you.
Show me what you got.
So I got to tell you, I streamed last night, and okay, we've talked about this before. I streamed Guns N' Roses. Now, this is the 4th time I've streamed this machine. The very first time, the plunger stopped working. The second time, the flippers stopped working. The third time, the glass shattered. It was that Guns N' Roses. So finally got to play it again. This time it worked all night and just beautiful to look at. Super strong flippers. It's, Data Race get a bad rap, but there's games like Guns N' Roses that, a nice little beacon in another one, otherwise bleak world of Data Race machines. It's a great game.
It's pretty much like new, right? Like his.
It looks new. It looks and plays new.
Yes. The guy who owns it, Jeff, restores pinball machines for a living, so it has everything.
It want to be good. Yeah.
Yes.
It really is. But, he spent years getting this to where it is, and it looks spectacular. And so the theme of the night was Battle of the Bands. So then we went over to Aerosmith and really got to deep dive into the new Aerosmith code, which I hadn't done. I'd played it in tournament match play, but really didn't really get that much of a feel to check out the rules. Again, and I said it on the night, I said, Aerosmith shouldn't have been. It just shouldn't have been anywhere near the good machine that it is. The theme, but the theme or the game itself.
It's everything.
You just don't like it.
I've got enough Lonnie D. Rupp games in my life that I don't need another one. That's why at least Guardians of the Galaxy changed it around enough that you can use your brain. But in Aerosmith, I feel like it's just a copy and paste, and they modify it enough to make it seem original.
Okay. No, I'm one of the people that says I really like it, and I just didn't think I would. I didn't like the theme. I really like what they've done with the art. It looks great. It plays great, and the new rules are fantastic. So there you go.
I've forgotten already that I'm a Stern Army representative.
Yeah, that's right.
Aerosmith is amazing, man. It's just
bad luck.
If you want it,
editing that out.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've turned the corner, Marty.
Like in the last 15 seconds.
Yes, I've realized my responsibilities as a Stern Army private member.
Stern Shill Army.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Gary Stern's pointing at me. He says, I want you. So here I am. By Aerosmith. It's amazing. Unique rules, multi-ball all day long.
Awesome. Love it.
Make sure it's at least 5 balls.
Yep.
Get your bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Super jackpot. Hit the VIP pass. Super ramps all day long. Get into the wizard modes. Yeah.
Great.
Aerosmith.
Awesome.
Okay.
Shall we go to the mailbag?
Sure. Oh, well, quickly before that, there are a lot of tournaments coming up, Marty, in December in Melbourne.
Yes.
We're in a weird patch right now where someone fucked up and there's no tournaments for like 2.5 weeks or something in Melbourne. So we're going to be sitting here flipping up. Yeah. Anyway, at the start of December, Marty, you've got the big Flip Out tournament. So Flip Out is Melbourne's big convention thingy for pinball.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be probably one of the biggest ones that we've had in Melbourne. That's what I'm hoping. So the big one is, and I don't think people realise this. I may have mentioned before, but I'm just going to say it now. There is a Flip Frenzy on the Saturday night, and every single machine that is there will be in the Flip Frenzy. So if you're there and you're not in the Flip Frenzy tournament, you can't play any games. They're all being used. So you'd kind of want to get your ticket for Flip Frenzy, wouldn't you think, Ryan? Otherwise,
yeah,
the spectators can be there, but you can't play.
Yeah. And Flip Frenzy is basically just playing pinball for 3 hours straight.
Correct. On all the machines. So,
and there's going to be like 50 machines there or something. So we can have like, let's try and break the record for Flip Frenzy. It's like 122 people or something, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what we can do.
A week after that, there's going to be a massive tournament, a massive weekend of tournaments, in Nil. Is that how you say it? NHIL?
It is Nil. It's about a 4.5 hour drive northwest of Melbourne. It's sort of on the way to Adelaide. Kind of.
Literally between Adelaide and Melbourne, there's a little town, and a bunch of awesome guys have a pinball museum there with, like, I don't know, 25, 30, 35 machines, a lot. And apparently they're all in amazing condition. Michael Casales has organized a weekend there. I'm not sure if I can make it because it is literally in between these massive tournaments. I don't think I can do 3 weeks in a row. But the week after, I'm doing the Pinball Paradise Flip Frenzy. During the week, and then the next weekend will be Hashman's Party, plus possibly my tournament after that. So just huge tournaments in Melbourne, big whoppers to be had.
Loves me a big whopper.
I'll link the Neil one in the show notes if people are interested in that, because the place is also a hotel motel thingy, so you can pretty much go there for the weekend and play pinball all weekend long.
Cool. I'm hoping to get there.
Cool.
All right, shall we go to the mailbag?
Sure.
You can read out the first one.
Shimmy. This one's from Shimmy. I love the idea from your emailer for the pinball theme around particle colliders. I immediately imagined 2 side-by-side Williams Getaway-style superchargers that accelerate 2 separate balls. You have to get the timing just right to eject and shoot them into each other to start a chain reaction that forms a black hole and swallows up the Earth. So much scope. I reckon a lot of pinheads do like science. There are so many science fiction themes. For example, Twilight Zone, Star Trek, Attack from Mars, Pinbot, Star Wars, Flash Gordon, Tron, to name a few. And my opinion is that a lot of people who like science fiction like science. The opposite is certainly true. Thanks, Shimmy.
Thank you, Shimmy. Next one, Crystal Gardner. Hello, Crystal. She writes in again. She says, can you please help me? I was playing Ghostbusters at a local pub and all of a sudden a frightening, shrieking scream came out of the machine. The entire pub went silent. I have no idea what I did to start that, but it was brilliant. I've Googled it, but no luck. Well, I wrote back to Crystal and said, that is what's called the annoying random shriek ghost from Ghostbusters that shits everybody.
It is polarizing. A lot of people do love it. It's on at Pinball Paradise, and when it goes off, half people are like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Half people are like, throw it off the roof. Where's Todd Tucky? And the last email is from Frank. He says, best casual sex dating all over the world in every town. www.shortforfree.us/best adult dating 53809. So if you want to have casual sex, just visit that URL.
That's the kind of email that we get. We get spammed so much shit. Anyway, there you go. Thanks everybody for listening. If you want to catch us, please go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/head2head pinball, or just, type in Head2Head Pinball. Twitter's at H2H Pinball. Email us at head2headpinball@gmail.com. Instagram is Head2Head Pinball. Patreon. We've had some more Patreons this week as well. Thanks everybody for your support. They got a sneak preview of the Joe Kaminkow interview. So, well done.
Sometimes we do the interviews like on the weekend right before we record our main show. We can't do anything about that. But if we interview in the middle of the week, then yes, we can share the episode early to our Patreon subscribers.
So there you go. Thanks everybody. We'll speak to you again next week.
See ya. Don't forget to email in your twerpy submissions. Thank you.
See ya.
But in my opinion, that is a lot of people who like sci-fi. The opposite is... Sorry, let me say that again. And in my opinion, is that... Okay, what? The opposite is certainly true. Okay. And my opinion is that a lot of people who like science... Oh, fuck. I can't read. And in my... And my opinion... Yes, and my opinion is that a lot of people who like... Oh, fuck. And you can put this all at the end, Marty, in the credits. Yes. And my opinion... Oh, fuck. Now I got the giggles.